Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me. I am still Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com. It is still in the description below. It is still your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any of our platforms. Please reach out to me directly. I am Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today we discuss not a lesser Lange, but a little Lange. This is the Lange Sohne Little Lange 1 Moonphase rose gold case, solid gold guilloche dial, a timepiece that offers Lange fun for smaller wrists at 36.8 millimeters in diameter. You can see the watch in profile, 9.8 millimeters thick, only 44 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip with a 19 millimeter spacing between the lugs. When I throw the watch on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, I'd actually wear the Little Lange. It's a mid-size rather than a lady's watch, and it looks great on a small wrist. Suitable for a wrist as small as 13 centimeters circumference. Once again, mine is 16. This is a timepiece that has more versatility than you might at first expect. It's also quite slim, being under 10 millimeters thick with a sloped bezel. It will slide underneath the cuff. The strap is a light brown, large rectangular scale alligator leather, matte finish. There is a edge profile that is folded with a monotone stitch on the bottom calfskin, a brand new Lange factory strap, no crimping, no gouging. We have a Lange branded matching rose gold pin buckle. There's some faceting externally and Lange branding up top. Features I always like to shout out in reviews of this buckle. You can see how the bridge has been elevated over the prongs so that the strap sits between the prongs rather than underneath the buckle when it's on your wrist, so it's thinner when on your wrist. There's also this retaining bar here. You can see it inside the buckle itself, and if you're like me and you're going to use the smallest hole, or you really need a Little Lange and you're going to punch even smaller holes, you know that a tightly strapped watch on a small wrist can get pinned on the pin. This little bar prevents the strap from sliding so low on the pin that it becomes difficult to extricate. A very traditional Lange case, cylindrical with the domed bezel, lugs stepped out, and you can see there's a little notch between lug and case band. Everything here is polished. Sometimes Lange goes with a satin finished mid case, but not here. We have little pusher adjusters to correct the date as well as the Moonphase, and then we have a crown which can be used for winding if you want to advance this 3-day power reserve, also for activating stop seconds or hacking. The dial is made of gold, though it is not gold colored. It's like a smaller version of the Lange 1A, which did have a visibly gold-colored and gold fabric dial. The fabric here, or the material of which it's made, is gold, but it's been silvered to give it more of a contrast with the rose gold of the case. The Lange 1A didn't have a whole lot of contrast, whereas this really does have a nice pop. Rose gold frame for date, hands, moon, indices, and numerals. Also a warm contrast with the dial base. You can see a lovely wavy rosette pattern used. This is a true engine-turned dial, so cut on a rose lathe by a specialized artisan called a guilloche. This is old-school dial fabrication. Someone like Ferdinand Berthoud or Breguet, or for that matter, F.A. Lange, would have recognized the techniques and equipment used to make this dial. It is artisanal and a work of art in its own right. Now we have a little coaxial seconds hand with the date, and of course, I should say with the Moonphase. There is a date up here, but the Moonphase is coaxial with the seconds hand. Seconds has stop seconds. The Moonphase has an adjustment interval of once every 122 years. So Lange only uses perpetual calendar standard Moonphase discs. It doesn't use the 2-year and change correction standard often found on non-perpetual calendar watches. So set it and forget it. 122.7 years till you have to set it again. Also, the disc is made of 22 karat gold itself. Lange Moonphase discs are always made of precious metal. We do have the up-down power reserve indicator. This does have a 72-hour power reserve, and as you can see, Doppelfederhaus. It is a twin barrel movement, turning it all over. You can see this is the newer Lange 1 caliber, L1212, so manual wind, 3 hertz beat rate, 5 position adjustment, which is the high horology and chronometer standard, 44 pivot jewels. You can see there's a hacking lever that's actually visible adjacent to a free sprung balance. So the adjustment's done using these little eccentric masses on the rim of the balance. The swan's neck is there for very small adjustments, but for the most part, this watch is going to be adjusted using those variable inertia masses, which allows for more precise adjustment, but also a better shock resistance. With 2 barrels, with mainsprings in series, you get a more flat and even torque release, so the watch doesn't gallop and gain a lot of time when fully wound, nor does it lose a lot of time as it approaches the end of the line. We have a 3/4 style bridge with German silver bridges and plates. German silver is a nickel copper zinc alloy that is not plated, the copper giving it its golden hue. It will not tarnish, though it will grow darker with age. The 3/4 plate and the German silver material used as homage to the pocket watch era, when in the 19th century and early 20th century, the original Lange company was at its zenith. You could see we have a few bridges, but what's there features mirrored beveling on its side. We have black polished screws in the case clamp, as well as for the swan's neck. The swan's neck is black polished and beveled steel, and we have a black polished cap for the escape wheel. We have stripes, or Streifen, as I'm told they're called in Germany, so they're not Côte de Genève. We're not in Geneva or Switzerland. Freehand engraving on the balance cock. This is done freehand with a burin. No engines, no lasers, no lathes. No two of these are exactly alike. And then there's some engine turning on the base plate as well as media blast. There's actually a little bridge for the anchor underneath the balance, and you can see it has been snailed on its top and beveled on its side. Superb attention to detail, even with the locating pegs used to place it on the base plate below. Those have been polished on their top. We have golden chaton cups, which are a nod to the way that jewels would have been pressed into bridges and plates in the pocket watch era, when it was often difficult to press a jewel precisely into a bridge or a plate, but a precision golden cup would be created, the jewel pressed into that, and then the whole assembly fixed into the bridge or the plate using screws. And that's what we have here, not for practical reasons, but for artistic ones. You'll also appreciate that the screws, for the most part on this movement, are steel and fired blue, oxidized by heat the old-fashioned way. FT, you can see on the case, and then B on the buckle. So this buckle would have been made by Brogioli, which is down in the south of Switzerland. That's why you have Swiss hallmarks on parts of this German watch. Brogioli known for making clasps and bracelets. And then FT is Ftior. It is a case maker associated with the Richemont group, of which Lange is a member. And then all this is water resistant down to 30 meters. If you love this watch, reach out to me. I am T. Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details of this Little Lange one Moonphase.